Is it going to do it? Hello, all those people on YouTube. Now, a lot of questions that I get asked is, I'm going to answer a few of them today. First one is, how can I tell if I'm overwatering my plants? How can I tell if I'm underwatering? Next question is, what makes a good pot? A solid bottom, a semi-solid, a solid submerged, a humidifier, and a whole bunch of other questions. First question we're going to answer is, how can I tell if I'm overwatering or underwatering my plant? First thing is, just look at the plant. Does it look nice, green, and healthy? Or, such as in a succulent or a cactus, does it look small? Like, does it look kind of thin more than normal? The one is, how can I tell when I need to water my plants, or how much do I need to water my plants throughout the thing? If you have a normal bottom, which would be this plant, actually no, let's just say this is normal bottom, okay? You'd water it, okay? But you want to know a little bit more precise than that, so let's get into that. What you want to pick up is one of the moisture detectors, okay? This just shows a standard thing, 1 to 4. Before you water your plants, you stick this at the very bottom of your solid pot, and you read what it is. This is 4. That means this does not need to be watered. And when you do water them, you can stick this kind in there and water it until the bottom part fills up with water, okay? Because the plant will draw on that, and water evaporates, so it'll move up in the soil, aerating it a little bit. Does a solid bottom pot work just as good as a pot with the holes in the bottom? Yes and no. The advantages of a solid pot is you don't need to water as often. The plant will draw more water from a solid bottom than a pot with bottom with holes, and it's usually a lot easier to find and repurpose. Here we have a nice solid bottom for my prickly pear cactus. Okay? Solid bottom. Okay? Just a little fish tank that got in there. It really likes to suck all the moisture in here. I used to have a bigger thing on top of it to up the humidity, making a self-contained ecosystem in there, so it, rains in there, but got a little bit too big. Now, when you have cactuses and everything, they can go months without water, okay? I mean, this one I water this guy once a month. Look how nice and plump he looks, especially in these newer ones, how nice and plump. That's where they start watering the succulents, okay? This one example of a submerged single hole, meaning that the bottom only has one little hole, okay? It's right there. And what I do is when I water this, you'd think that I'd pour it from here. No, I fill this up with water about here, and I pour a little bit of water in here. And what that does is it equals out the pressure, and the plant sits in it for a little bit, getting all the nice moisture from all the soil and permeates it. Then I dump this out and it leaves like this. In this one we have one that does a little humidifying effect, which is really neat. I water this just like normal. It trickles down to here, collects water down here. This evaporates. Water can evaporate at any temperature, even at freezing. That's what freeze drying means, drying something of all its moisture, then freezing it. It'll aerate this, and it'll permeate this, and make this, nice and moist a little bit. I still need to water this too. Then we have this nice little, another solid bottom. It's just normal cup. Now the advantages, disadvantages of having a clear one versus one that sunlight cannot penetrate through is it really nice warms up the water that is in there. But I do recommend people watering the plants with nice cool or a little bit cold water. Plants seem to like that, in my experience, better than, warm water or pure hot water. Pure hot water can damage leaves, so can too cold of water, but they do mostly prefer a cooler water. because they like to warm up, have the sun warming up themselves, or they just like cooler because it's easier to process. And also, they seem to like a little bit more because they get more of a sunlight in there. Like, there's no sunlight blockage like this. It gets all the sunlight from all the different sides. And also, when you have a clear one, you can see the roots, so you know when it's time to repot it. Now, I'm going to show you what a self-contained water ecosystem looks like. A self-contained water basically means that it makes and produces its own food by rotting. This is also called a normal marsh. And here it is. I need to top off the water. All this does is basically simple. It has roots in here. The roots die, creates rot, goes into the water, and the roots suck up that nutrients and lets it grow. As you can see, it's doing very fine. Nothing wrong with it. I do need to top off the water because this thing does really drink up the water quick. I also have one in the pot. It doesn't really matter what you put it in. What makes a good pot for solid bottom, what makes a good pot for ecosystem and everything else. If the plant, such as this, is from the marsh, this is a Mostrina, usually found in marshes in South America. That usually means that, it's pretty good for marshland. Now, if I try to do that with, I don't know, Cuban oregano, which is a desert arid-loving plant, it would die. The roots would become too saturated with moisture, and it would start to rot. Okay? Well, thank you so much for watching. I try to do a new video every Friday. Like I say, in all my videos, shoot 'em high.